again. We're off and running. Off and running. That's the new drug today. Camp. See you in February.
Looks good,
Okay?
too.
You know what?
Good-looking team.
I always say I'm going to have vacation right after the parade. Okay? Maybe a parade this year.
There could be.
Never know. I mean, there's 10
there's a lot of teams that feel the same way.
I was going to say there's 10, 12 other teams that are saying that.
Yeah.
But
it's good to be one of them.
There's 15 to 18 that aren't. You know, and we've been in the aren't category.
And we've come in after day one of training camp and acknowledged that, they've got a lot of good young pieces.
That's exactly right.
And we're excited, but this probably isn't the year they're winning the Lombardi Trophy.
So it was a good day out there today. Good crowd out there, I thought. The weather was good. It wasn't stupid hot. It was kind of overcast. But it was a good day of work. We got a lot to talk about. Brian Thomas Jr., great, by the way, great guy to get. There's been so much conversation about him. If you'd have asked me, who do I want you to snare, I probably would have said him because, the tough start to last year, the season ends not as productive as he would have wanted. Obviously went to work in the off season, clearly was very good in the OTA minicamp kind of segment of the year. And so to see where his head, I can't wait to hear it. I haven't heard it yet. I can't wait to hear it. So we're going to get to that sooner rather than later. But I want to get a good idea kind of where his head is. So I'm looking forward to that coming up in the program today. A lot of things we'll talk. We're busy today now. So Brett Hastings will be here for Sports and Courts, as he always is, because the Kyle Shanahan thing's important. Now, this is going to be mostly the day we talk Jaguars, but kind of their wheelhouse a little bit is, who's at fault and what happens with automobile accidents and what happens if you're the one at fault, which Kyle Shanahan made it very clear that he was. He said, listen, if you saw his comments on it, he said, I wasn't on my phone, but I dropped my phone and I reached for it, and that's what caused everything. So Brett's here to talk about that today on the program. Bucky Brooks was in town for 2 or 3 days, working with the Jaguar staff a little bit, and he'll join us at the 5 o'clock hour. We hope he's flying back today, so Bucky should be at the airport. So we're gonna try and track him down. If not, we'll have him tomorrow. But I think we're trying to track him down at 5:15 today. So we got a lot of fun stuff. So we're gonna go all through our thoughts on camp. Other things we'll get to. There's some more stuff going on in the college football world. A lot of stuff. It's a busy time. There's injuries around the NFL. We'll certainly touch on some of those that we didn't even know about. So there's a lot of things to get to. But let's start with camp. Let's not bury the lead here. What'd you like? What'd you not like? Give me the what'd you used to call it? The up and downs.
Oh, up downs.
Yeah, give me a radio version of up downs.
All right. Well, I'll say up was the tenor of the practice and how it started. I thought it was physical, which for day one of training camp, because obviously you're not in pads until Monday, you almost have to watch what you do because the NFLPA, pours over this film. Everything gets turned in. So all the video is able to be accessed, and you don't want to, get penalized. But I was impressed with just the physical nature early on of seeing, running through the tackles and the linemen. This was not hey, I'm just going to take 2 steps and just sort of block my guy. There was good, particularly for day one,
right.
Good aggression on both sides. And I think that's just, again, a testament to Liam Cohen has talked about that since the beginning of the offseason, is wanting to be better in short yardage, running the ball, wanting to be better running the ball just in general. And if you're going to emphasize it for months, then it makes sense that very early on day one, you're going to do something that, is a drill for that and some good teamwork for that. So I thought that was really interesting. Obviously, it was a sloppy day. Liam Cohen even described it that way in terms of the offense's execution. There were drops. There was some errant throws from Trevor Lawrence. But I liked that operationally, they were clean. Like for day one, and it's been this way, I've been really impressed, particularly considering they did have a lot of penalties last season. Like they have just been really locked in on what their, what formation they're in and everybody getting the message. And again, I'm sure that's, player driven and you're seeing as these players go into year 2, they're more accountable. But I thought the execution was sort of what you'd expect to see on day one. But operationally, they looked like they'd been practicing for a week already. And again, that's been a theme throughout. So, you didn't like seeing Kaiser go down early. Hopefully he'll be okay. And it was one of those where it didn't appear to be incredibly serious, but obviously until they get imaging on it, they're not going to know for sure. But But I thought a good day. It was great seeing Travis Hunter out there. I mean, there's just so many things about this team to get excited about, and I think that was reflected in the first practice.
Yeah, a handful of things for me. I agree with all that. A handful of things for me. Number one, you're right about the crispness, if not the execution, was good. It was crisp and efficient. Yeah, they dropped some passes. They missed some passes. Eric Murray made a great interception on one. Jacoby Myers on that long, kind of that crosser, almost like a flag route right to left, had one right in his hands, and he dropped. That's okay. That's going to be. I think Jacoby Myers.
Rather it now than week 6.
Yeah, I think Jacoby Myers is going to catch most of the passes. I think I'm okay with that. So there were some of those things. Trevor up and down again, first day. And Trevor made a good point when he met with the media afterwards. He said, "Listen, quarterback, you're going to have interceptions. Are they interceptions where the other guy made a really good play, or did I make a bad read and a bad throw?" And that's how I evaluate myself. So, but a handful of things that stood out to me. First of all, there's about 3 or 4 guys that really looked the part. Did you see Antonio Johnson?
Yeah.
The way, maybe it's just because he's wearing number 6 now, and that's a better number than 26. Boy, did he look fit, didn't he? I mean, he looked like he's been in the weight room. I finally walked next to Travis Hunter for a little bit today. Boy, did he spend time in the weight room. We knew that. We talked about that already, but couldn't you see it? And I say this about the guy every year. Josh Hines Allen looks like a bodybuilder. Didn't you sense that? Big and thick and ripped and cut. So I think those that kind of stood out to me as well. I tell you, I think they've got something. We'll see. Nobody's hitting anybody yet. I think they've got something in these 2 rookie receivers.
They look
good, don't
good.
they? They really do. I mean, the wide receivers I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Josh Cameron's physical, he catches everything in his hands. CJ Williams is so smooth. We talked about his polish. That kind of stood out to me today as well. And again, no one's hitting. It was a short practice today. They only went till 10 o'clock today, so I think 8 periods, which is the shortest practice they'll probably have, other than a walkthrough, probably the whole camp, as you would imagine. Little concerned about the Kaiser injury. It was interesting that Liam told Ryan O'Halloran that he might be in the mix for that Will job. That we all know it's Ventrell Miller and Branson Combs are candidates 1 and 2 in whatever order, probably that order. But that Jack Kaiser could get in the mix. Jack Kaiser's the backup middle linebacker to Foye Luka, but that he could get in the mix there, which I think is interesting. The other thing about Jack Kaiser is Foye Luka is a terrific player. He was terrific on with Dan and Jeff this morning, and it's great having Dan and Jeff and Mike on both of their shows out there, which I think is really cool. I'm really glad we're doing that. But at some point, Foye can't play every down. He's a 3-down guy. He's an older guy. At some point, you need another guy to go play if he can't play. Yeah, at some point, someone's got to go be the middle. He never misses a play, and he never comes out on 3rd down. And at some point, someone's got to be the middle linebacker. He played hurt some last year. He didn't want to tell anybody that, but he played hurt some last year. So that's what so the Jack Kaiser injury concerned me a little bit. I'd be disingenuous if I didn't say it bothered me a little. So I hope he's okay. It was good seeing Chris Rodriguez out there. We all listened in to talk to him. He's a neat guy. You can tell Liam Cohen has a real respect for him. You could tell that when we listened to Liam afterwards, and I love it. This happened with Tank Bigsby last year. Tank was not good in the early part, and I sat down with Liam. It was just Liam and me. I said, "What do you think of Tank?" He goes, "Well, let's see him in tackle football because that's what he's best at." And it turned out it didn't work out, and then he wasn't happy when he wasn't in the mix, and they had to move on. Well, you notice he used that phrase a bunch with Chris Rodriguez today. Let's see him when it's tackle football, because if there is a position that I've been consistent on this, and maybe I'm wrong, running back's the one position I want to feel a little more confident. Does that make sense? I want to feel a little more. It's the one position I'd like to be a little more confident. Again, I'll say it again. I love what I think that position can be. And if you're right for what you said yesterday, Hayes, if LaQuinn Allen can really be not just a 3rd down back and a great special teamer, but a guy that really factors into the 1st and 2nd down rotation, well, then that changes things a great deal. But both Bashal Tutin and LaQuinn Allen, neither were drafted particularly high. Neither have been RB1 ever, nor has Chris Rodriguez been RB1 ever. So I think for me, that position is – so I hope Chris Rodriguez can affect that position. I think that kind of stood out to me today as well. Going through all my notes, I think that's probably the main – that's the main stuff. I will be interested to see it was fun seeing the guys that the rookies who just hadn't seen them. I saw Albert Regis up close. He's a big dude now. He's not tall, but he's a big, thick dude. So I think it was a fun day for me, I think, to see a bunch of guys. Number one, guys that I hadn't seen in a while, and number two, guys that I've never seen at all. you can kind of get the volume of the team. I think you had a better feel for that today, which was kind of cool.
Without a doubt. And again, there should be a lot of optimism for this season. I've seen nothing through OTAs and now one day at training camp to suggest that isn't going to happen. If as long as this team doesn't get butchered by injuries, they have a chance to be special because they just don't have any area where I think it's you're in a panic over what is going to happen here. And I just keep coming back to when Trevor breaks the huddle and he's got all of his guys. I mean, good luck covering Brian Thomas Jr. and Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington and Brenton Strange. And I do think Bashal Tutin's headed for a huge year. So again, you can tell, like we've done this long enough now. You can tell when a team is exceptionally coached. I mean, you don't see them have a bad practice. I'm talking about like since we start going out there for OTAs.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that. Like it is precise. They have a clear plan. The players respond well to it. Again, there were times today where the execution definitely screamed day one in terms of the drops and inaccurate passes at times. But I'm really impressed by how the coaches are able to deliver a message in the meeting rooms, and then that message gets carried out mentally. Because if you're mentally locked in on the first day of training camp, and you have been throughout the OTAs, that bodes very well for where this team is going to be once we get to September.
Yeah, and it does look like they're efficient right out of the gates. All right, so more Jaguar talk coming up at the bottom of the hour. You'll hear from Brian Thomas Jr. He'll be the subject of the first Hayes Carline one-on-one of the season. That comes up later on. Bucky Brooks, we think in the 5 o'clock hour, if we can wrangle in Bucky. He was here at practice today. He's got a lot of thoughts on the Jags. But when we come back, it's Sports and Courts. Kyle Shanahan in a very scary automobile accident. Where does fault lie, and what does that mean if he's at fault? We'll do that on Sports and Courts. Brett Hastings is here. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Look, we may not always get it right, but we do give it everything we've got.
I love this game. I live this game.
1010XL.
Obsession's going to be talent every time.
Jacksonville Sports Radio with heart, hustle, and a little mischief.
Is it all you ever think about?
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantling, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Coming up in mid-August, Showtime will host Jags star kicker Cam Little. Sunday, August 16th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. Cam Little in-store signing at Showtime on Sunday, August 16th. It's Showtime, Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mokama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mokama magic is what it's all about. Mokama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mokama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Hacker here for Cornerstone Interior Solutions. If your AC is working overtime every summer, your insulation may be the problem. Homeowners and builders across Northeast Florida are calling Cornerstone to upgrade to spray foam insulation. It seals homes, crawl spaces, garages, blocking in cool air and blocking out heat. So your home stays cooler, your system runs easier, and your energy bills stay under control. Don't wait for peak heat. Visit CornerstoneInteriorSolutions.com.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Fine Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Now time for Sports and Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
Brett Hastings is here. You ready for football?
I am. This is kind of like the unofficial start of football, right? Like there's practices. Right. We can dream. It's coming up. So
football
exciting.
Started this morning. It ends in the Super Bowl. It's on. It's a 6-month season, and the 6 months have begun. Vacation's over, right? All that stuff's over. So there you go. So we are ready.
I'm here for it.
You're here. All right. We got an important topic today.
Right.
Obviously, Kyle Shanahan in a very bad car accident. Almost lost his eye, according to some reports. Broken nose, a lot of facial injuries, not just ribs and the rest. He came out and spoke yesterday and essentially said it was his fault. Now, he said he wasn't on his phone, but that he had dropped his phone and went to pick it up. Take me through from 10,000 feet. When it is your fault, what does that mean? What kind of charges? Take me through the whole process.
So here's what's really interesting. And most clients, when they come into the firm or when I have an opportunity to meet with them, are shocked. The traffic crash report is never admissible in the state of Florida.
Really?
The fact that you've been found at fault is not admissible. You've got to prove those things essentially from the ground up. Okay. Now, why are they important? Okay. 2/3 of, personal injury cases can be resolved without the need of an actual lawsuit. Okay. So the insurance adjusters and a lot of the people will rely on what determinations are, from law enforcement out on the scene. But having done this for 25 years, I'm going to tell you something that I have seen happen so many times. And I don't think this is really, a shot at law enforcement or anything, but so often when one individual, is really injured a lot more, is taken from the scene, people will stay there and kind of the facts or the circumstances that you hear are one-sided. And then they could find fault the other way. And once we get involved in making an investigation and go through stuff, we can find it out. I had a gentleman, he was a computer programmer. He was Indian. He had a very thick accent. Came into the firm, it's probably like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Says, look, I've been sued. I was found at fault. And I said, well, we don't do that. Let's talk. And I talked to him and I said, man, it really doesn't seem like you're at fault. So in that case, we ended up doing a download of his vehicle. He had a brand new BMW. We were able to show that his turn signal was on. We were able to see where the collision took, the forces that were involved. And he went from being sued to we got a $500,000 recovery for him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, so, does that happen every day? It doesn't. Now, here's what's really interesting in Kyle Shanahan's case. Okay. And we'll talk about distracted driving today just because we need to, right? But he was driving a Tesla. Teslas have like 6 forward-facing cameras, And so one of the biggest things that's changed personal injury law are is the data that we can get out of normal cars. You would be shocked, like new cars 2 to 3 years old, what we get out of vehicle downloads, okay? But with Teslas, it's in a complete another level. I have an investigator. He actually has the Tesla certification so that we can do those downloads. You can go and see the sides and all around because, if some of the listeners haven't driven a Tesla, I used to have a Model S, but really the premise is they take video and essentially use computer programming and AI to help drive the vehicle. So that it necessitates that there's not only video, right, but that there are cameras placed around the entire perimeter of the car. And so I have seen a number of those situations. We have one where there are two plaintiffs. They're suing each other. We were just able to prevail. The other car was a Tesla, and we were able to see once we got the downloads of the vehicle who was actually at fault.
Wow.
I wouldn't think Shanahan and the other person are involved in anything contentious, but let's hypothetically say that they are. Shanahan admitting to media that it was his fault, would that be something that his opponent could use in court?
Absolutely. California doesn't have the exact traffic crash report privilege, but as a general rule, it works the same way. Hearsay rules can be slightly different from state to state, but here's what's important. In the state of Florida, all the listeners want to know, if you are a party, okay, hearsay is not applicable. So anything that you say is directly admissible in your case, right? So if you're at fault, whatever you say is coming into court. The other side, anything they say is coming into court, right? And so, statements made to witnesses and other people that are out there, that can all be admissible, right? It's not as if the traffic crash report takes that information away. But, a lot of times, and this is a thing that people are shocked, our clients, any of the witnesses, you know what they can never, ever give in a court case? Their opinion. They can only testify to who, what, when, where, and how. Okay. Their observations. Opinions are left for experts, okay?
Okay.
Every single car crash case, there's essentially two defenses. The first, right, is whatever happened wasn't significant enough to cause the problems that we relate to it. And the second is in every single case, and people are kind of shocked by it, but it's, it doesn't matter. All those injuries were pre-existing. And in those cases, that's when the medical professionals come in that are so critical, and they're going to come in and testify, and they can say, we can say, hey, do you have an expert, medical opinion within a reasonable degree of certainty? I do. What is it? Yes, but for this crash, those things wouldn't have happened. So you would still go get all of this evidence, right? And it's the one thing I want everybody to know. I'll be the first one to say, I think I'm a pretty bright guy, right? Personal injury isn't rocket science. You want to be with a firm that's going to go and marshal every fact, right? Like a great investigative journalist or anything else. You are going to do the best in your case by getting the facts, the evidence. One of the things that we have now all the time, we go out to convenience stores that could be near the crash scene, right? Cameras. We have cameras in all the counties around here that go out and video, I-95 and all of that. And so all of that information is absolutely critical.
And all this is, and based on, it's what you do for a living, but all this is based on civil litigation. What about criminal litigation? What is Kyle Shanahan face? He said it was his fault.
Right.
And by the way, here's what's scary about the story. Both cars were going about 20 miles an hour.
Right.
They weren't going very fast. But he said it was an incredibly violent collision, so you don't have to be going very fast.
20, 10, 15, having done this, will catastrophically change things. Because, to answer your question on that, this is all it's always going to be civil, right?
Yeah.
It's going to become criminal. Are you drinking? Are you under the influence of drugs and alcohol? Is it a road rage incident? Have you used the vehicle almost akin to a weapon?
And there was none of that.
So when it's pure negligence, right? Which is, essentially being careless, right? It's,
So what goes on his record? I guess what happens there?
Might, get some points on your record for a moving, violation.
Okay.
Right.
So it's not when there was obviously no intent.
Right.
Obviously there was no drinking. He was not impaired.
Right.
He was negligent. So because that's what I didn't know. I didn't know what happens. It's not that different than having a speeding ticket.
100%. Right.
I wouldn't have known that.
Now, and he had significant injuries, right?
Really
and here's the other thing too. You could say 20 miles an hour, and maybe some listeners say, "Oh, that didn't sound much." This was a head-on collision.
Right.
And so if you know anything about those forces, when they come in together, that's an incredibly violent, collision. And, one of the things all our clients will come and say, hey, I went to the ER and they checked me out and everything was fine. Well, at the ER, they're trying to figure out, are you going to die tonight or do you need an immediate surgery? And then you're going to go out and you're going to treat with other specialists. One of the reasons I love personal injury, and I love, the various physicians that come on and sort of do the medical side of sports and courts, is that if you look at most healthcare, it's geriatric in nature, right? We're dealing with the aging process. But in personal injury cases, it's like sports. It's the quick, swift administration of trauma. I was driving in today and they're breaking down the way that, Travis Hunter is falling and he's doing these things. And so, we really like to align ourselves and have the clients be going to people that have sports related backgrounds, because when you go through a collision like this, that's the closest thing. It's like getting hit by a linebacker and not expecting it. And people that work in that area, one, are going to help you get better, right? And it's still ultimately about getting better, but they're also going to be able to objectify the extent of your injuries. And the biggest thing that dictates value in cases is what future medical care is going to be related to it. And that's where sports physicians who understand, this quick, swift administration of trauma, how it's going to affect people for the rest of their life.
What would you guess Shanahan's looking at from a settlement here, since he's admitted the fault? If you're representing Shanahan, what's the number that you're saying, Kyle, you've got it, we're just going to have to write this number to this person?
I don't know anything, and I didn't see anything about the other person's her injuries, But what I would tell you is you're never suing the person, right? And so everybody out there could know that there's most likely an insurance policy in place. I would imagine he's a very well-insured person. He would notify his carrier, okay? His carrier would provide his defense. They would hire the lawyers if they need to do it, and they would actually be the ones to go and to pay the check, okay? But it always depends. There's really two things that determine damages, right? One, we just talked about, which is the future medical care, right, that's related to the crash. The second, the law calls them non-economic damages, but I call them what they are, human damages. And that's pain and suffering, mental anguish, inconvenience, disfigurement, those types of things. And so that's obviously very subjective, as it relates. If Frank hurts his big toe and can't use his big toe, well, that might not be much of an economic thing in the future and not much of a human damages one. But if Frank were a ballerina and you could no longer have the benefit of that income, there's the economic side, but the non-economic side is that could be the type of thing, hey, I never got my opportunity, those things. And so those are the factors, and it's why, we say this isn't rocket science, but the successful personal injury firms make sure that the clients aren't claim numbers that are 16 things long, and that really you can find everything out about them and present them in the most powerful way. And so that's, I love what I do, and that's literally what we do every day.
Two things. Number one, I'd be an outstanding ballerina. Okay, just so you know, that's first. Secondly, though, if to Hayes' question, if she's okay, if she's literally not injured at all, if there's not a back injury that rears its head in a month or so,
right,
then there's really the only damage is to fix the car. Right?
Correct.
I mean,
that'll be the property damage part. And so the listeners know you can always resolve the property damage claim and do that without releasing your own personal injury claims. Because the one thing that I will tell everybody, always still go get checked out after the crash. And here's why. Sort of get that fight or flight, you get the adrenaline rush. So often, doing this 25 years, people feel one way. And then usually it's kind of 2 to 6 weeks later, we start seeing the other injuries go in. You'll hear them talk about TV and other people's soft tissue injuries like there's something you want to cuddle up with. Soft tissue issues can be completely debilitating for people. Herniated discs, other things like that. And a lot of times once the inflammation, once the swelling starts to come back down, that's when we see all those injuries. And a lot of times that's radiculopathy, which is tingling and painful things coming out into the arms and into the legs. And that's typically because of neck, mid-back, or low back injuries, and they start manifesting themselves. And as we all know here, if that happens to you at 25, what the case is about and what you really need to worry about is what are you dealing with at 35, at 45, and at 55, because these things do not get better.
Final thought, and I'll say this again, Brett and Hayes, I read this earlier. Two things jumped out of this story. Number one, I'm glad she's okay, and I hope he's going to be okay. He's not going to lose his eye.
Right.
But two things jumped out at me. Number one, I appreciate how vigilant he was in making sure everybody knew it was his fault, not hers. He was very bothered that the initial reports blamed her. He said, listen, I don't know why they came. It really hurt me that they're blaming her. She did nothing wrong. I hit her. So,
kudos to him.
Yeah.
Accepting responsibility.
Not only accepting, but I mean, pounding the pulpit to make sure this 21-year-old girl isn't blamed. That's the first thing. The other thing that just jumped off the page for me, and I'll say it again, I said it a minute ago. When you think of his quote was, "I'll never forget how violent it was." They're going 20 miles an hour, and in our mind, maybe I'm just a dummy, but I never would have thought two cars hitting at 20 miles an hour would be violent. Well, of course, don't be an idiot. Of course they are, but you don't think when you think of big crashes, you think of people are flying. You think of cars are going 60, 70 on the highway, and bam, they're going 20 miles an hour, and it was a horribly violent crash that could have killed one of them. And I guess for me, right. I wouldn't have thought that. I mean, if you think about it, that's what jumped off the page in the story.
I've seen it so much that I was not shocked
at
all.
Yeah, you live in that world. We don't.
We had a client not that long ago, and they were in a Jeep, right? Manual transmission, had everything in complete neutral, and got hit in the rear, and the vehicle just rolled really well.
Yeah,
their injuries were really bad, and what I was able to find out is because they took all the force.
Yeah,
right. The vehicle wasn't crunching up; it wasn't crumbling. Here they went and took the force, and so we see. You could get T-boned at a slow rate of speed, and because of the different nature of the force, it can cause catastrophic injuries, and so we see it all the time. I've seen crashes under 10 where people have never ever had any other prior pre-existing problems, and then they go get MRI imaging, which kind of demonstrates for soft tissue injuries. Gives you the best view of what went on, and they would have had one before and after, and there's no doubt that the crash caused it and that it was under 10 miles an hour.
Hayes, to that end, I mean, again, it's a whole different world, but we're an hour from Daytona. We've all seen enough crashes that are just horrible, and guys walk away unscathed, and there's fire and bomb. And then Dale Earnhardt, God bless him, God rest his soul, he hits he goes head on into the bank. If you'd have just seen that, nobody would have thought, right? Well, that it killed him. And it didn't have the Hans device. We know all the details, but my point is that one wouldn't have looked like one where the driver got killed.
100%.
Where we see other ones where there's cars, 3 or 4 cars flying and everything on fire, and they walk away.
Well, and the last thing, I think we're 10 to 12 years, we're going to have the safest driving ever. But between now and then, we're going to continue to see some of the most dangerous driving.
Yeah.
We see more collisions now than ever in my career where people are rear-ended without braking at all, and it's because of distracted driving. It used to be don't text and drive. Now it's don't watch the Instagram reel and drive.
Yeah.
Now,
I believe that.
And it's complete and total distraction, and then boom, this goes and happens. And so, we've all probably done it at some point.
There's no question.
But meeting with people who have had their lives changed as a result of it, I would just, everybody, it's not worth it.
I so believe what you said, that so much information available on your phone now has had to led to more and some catastrophic accidents. I don't think there's any question. All right, great work as always. Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. That is Sports in Courts. When we come back, you'll hear from Brian Thomas Jr. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, official dental partner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Everybody loves what's happening at Beard's Diamonds this month. Up to 40% off store-wide at their annual Christmas and July sale. But you need to hurry. The event ends at the end of the month. Hurry in to see all the amazing deals, up to 40% off, and that includes engagement rings, fashion rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants. This is the annual store-wide sale that everybody loves because you get December prices like Christmas. If you're getting engaged this summer, now's your chance to get a bigger, better quality diamond. Or maybe it's time to treat yourself to a fabulous fashion ring, necklace, or bracelet. Don't forget, Beards is the town center's locally owned diamond superstore. Say hi to the Lupos when you go in. Don't settle for the corporate chain store experience when you can get the value, service, and attention you deserve. Don't miss Christmas in July exclusively at Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center. I say shop local, shop Beards Diamonds. Hurry, though, the offer ends at the end of July and will not be extended. Beards Diamonds.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Hey, I'll be home in about 10 minutes. Actually, make it 8.
Hey, Mom. Yep, I'm walking home now. Mom, I'm trying to cross, but I don't think this driver sees me. No, they're driving too fast. Mom!
Speeding catches up with you. Early, on time, a little late, just get there safely. A message from the Florida Department of Transportation's Target Zero initiative.
Turn up the shine with the Gate Express Car Wash Sizzlin' Summer Sale. Buy one graphene wash and get a second one for just $10. That's a $20 savings. Visit your nearest Gate Express Car Wash today.
A lot of plumbing companies around here, not local anymore. They got bought out. Different owners, different priorities, and you feel it when you call. But not at Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining is still locally owned, still right here in Northeast Florida. No call centers, no corporate nonsense, just hardworking pros who show up, fix it right, and stand behind the job. From leaks to full pipe relining, make the superior choice when you need a plumber. Request an estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
You know Zero Res, the zero residue carpet cleaner that leaves your carpets truly clean with no dirt-attracting soaps or harsh chemicals. Don't risk it with the other guys. Skip the disasters that leave your carpets soaked for days and do more harm than good. Keep the mud outside where it belongs, not trapped in your carpets. This month, get 3 rooms of Carpet Zero Resified, starting at just $129. Call 287-5727 or visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and ask for the 1010XL special.
Zero Res.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Awaken 180 clients have just reached the 1 million pounds down mark. 1 million pounds. A city of people. That's thousands of people who reclaim their lives the easy way, the medication-free way. What's stopping you? Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Lauren Brooks. Summer means vacations, beach trips, and plenty of time on the road. If your tires are overdue for replacement, Big Chief Tire has a new way to save. They're offering special online-only pricing on tires, making it easier than ever to find the best deals before your next trip. Shop online, schedule your installation, and travel with confidence. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com and see how much you could save today.
Birthdays, anniversaries, and graduations happen year-round. That's why it's good to have Kuhn Flowers on hand to send that floral arrangement with a simple click, call, or showroom visit. This is JJ. Make Kuhn Flowers your go-to when you need to send your love.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
I sure appreciate my friends from Coyle & Sons. I saw Eric and Delaney, the whole team, around at the Bregan Baseball Complex in Fort Family Park. They do so much work for us out there, and they're kind of going to walk through, and they're the best fence company in town. They really are. You can call them at 904-356-4821 or go on to Coyle, that's C-O-I-L-E, CoyleJacks.com. They're also a door company, big metal doors. They handle all of those, the overhead doors. They're just really good at their job, and they're good folks, and they're a Jacksonville company, man. Coyle & Sons Fence Company, the best, really are the best in the business. 2 years ago, Brian Thomas Jr. burst on the scene, is one of the best rookies in the National Football League, had a huge year, and so much was expected of him. Last year, did not get off to a good start. Dropped a few balls early, didn't take some hits maybe people thought he should have, and then he took some hits off the field, a lot of them. It certainly affected him. He probably admitted to that a little bit later on, but he turned it around, and he played better as the season went along. He's a big, big part of this Jaguar future and present. The former LSU first-rounder certainly has had a really good offseason, it would appear. Minicamp, the OTAs, and we couldn't wait to watch him today. He looked good again today, and Hayes caught up with him. It's the first Hayes Carline one-on-one.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars receiver Brian Thomas Jr. here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Did you have a good off season?
Yes, sir. Pretty good one.
Any fun trips?
I took a couple. Trips. Get my mind away and just get away from things a little bit. But I mean, this past break, I wanted to stay locked in, stay working, and just keep focused on the main goal. So yeah, I did early on in the off season, but this last past break, I kept it football and got my self back in shape and got ready for the season.
Yeah, Brian, obviously very impressive throughout OTAs and the off season. How did you feel like that period went for you?
I feel like it went pretty well. I came out and I did what I set my mind to do, which was come out and be undeniable. I mean, I felt healthy, felt good. So I mean, when feeling healthy and feeling good, I feel like that's what I can go out there and do. So yeah.
How do you feel like you grew from the struggles last season that you went through?
I mean, it just teaches you adversity. I mean, everybody goes through adversity. You just gotta push through, keep your head down, push through, and keep fighting. That was my main goal. Like I said, this year I just wanted to come out here and be undeniable. Come out here, push even harder, and just give everything I got.
Seemed like a pretty intense day today for the first day. How'd you feel like it was compared to some other openings of training camp?
I actually feel like it was a pretty good first day. I mean, the offense we could have did a little bit better. We had a couple plays out there that we got to go make, but I mean, I feel like it was a good day overall. Good first acclimation day. Yeah, so I feel like it was pretty good.
Fun to see the crowd out here supporting you guys?
Yeah, definitely. It's always fun to have them out here cheering us on. I mean, that's what we do it for. We do it for the community and all our fans. So yeah, we just love having them out here and cheering us on. They give us the extra boost that we need to get through a hot day like today. So yeah.
How nice is it to be in year 2 of this scheme and be able to focus on more of the details of your craft?
Oh man, it feels great just having like the offense known, or knowing what to do, where to be, when to be there. I mean, it gives all of us a boost, whether it's us wide receivers being more confident in running what we got and knowing what we got, or whether it's Trevor just having the confidence in us to rip the ball out and knowing that we'll be in our spots and knowing that we know where to be. So yeah, I feel like it's a good thing for all of us, and it betters all of us as a whole. It betters the whole team.
How would you describe the growth that you and Trevor Lawrence have made in terms of your on-field chemistry?
I feel like we've grown a lot. I feel like we're going to continue to grow. I mean, there's never all good. So I mean, you can always continue to grow, and I feel like we'll always keep getting better as long as we stay working on the things that we need to work on. And I feel like that's for everybody. I mean, everybody's continue to grow with them. So yeah.
It seems like when you guys get further into camp and you're really getting into the matchups with the corners, how excited are you to go against Travis Hunter, Monteric Brown, Jordan Lewis, guys that all bring a little bit different in terms of what they excel into the game?
Yeah, I'm super excited just to be able to go up against some defense, some DBs or whatever. I mean, whether it's any one of those guys, I mean, they're going to give you a tough look each and every time. I feel like we got a great set of cornerbacks, and they all play different, got different styles, and they all going to give you a good look each and every time. So you got to go out there and maximize each and every rep and try to get the best out of it. I mean, I feel like every Sunday, I feel like we got some of the best DBs on our team. So, I mean, every Sunday, every day we come out here, we going against the best. So, I mean, when it comes down to Sunday, it'll just get easier and easier.
Brian, are you excited for this season from the respect of Liam's really talked about taking more shots downfield this season? You obviously were able to hit a lot of those in OTAs. And if the run game does get improved, that play action component certainly plays to your strengths as well in terms of hitting defenses over the top. Are you excited about, that element of this offense and its evolution?
I mean, I'm just super excited just to be back playing football, feeling healthy. That's really the main goal. I mean, the offense will do as it does, and I mean, it'll go as it goes. And I mean, we just want to come out here and make plays as a skill position and as a whole, as an offense. We just want to come out here and make plays, whether it's the deep ball, whether it's the intermediate throws, short throws, all getting the run game going. We just want to come out here and be an all-around team and get wins. Really, that's really the main goal is winning, in my opinion.
Liam's talked about the three better, three best with every player. What did you take out of the messaging from Liam and the staff in regards to that?
Just really just coming out here, just pushing each and every day, just being the best that I can be. I mean, everybody know I had some things that I needed to get corrected, and just coming out here correcting those things, and just being the best that I can be each and every day. Coming out here, putting my best foot forward each and every day, blocking out the noise. Don't listen to what the media or all that's saying. So just coming out here, blocking out the noise, and just being the best that I can be each and every day.
Well, Brian, we certainly appreciate your time. Best of luck as camp continues, and certainly we'll look forward to talking with you throughout the season. Best of luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate Brian's time, and I thought it was really important there that he acknowledges the struggles. That's that's the best way to have growth and get better is to acknowledge that. Yeah, there were times last year that I didn't play my best, and he's been fantastic throughout this offseason. I mean, obviously, there were times where I was very critical of him. I think a lot of people around town were critical of him and his play. But I will say I'm feeling more optimistic about Brian moving forward because he acknowledges the struggles. And all we've seen so far is that he's looked really good. So, again, you're talking about a player that's yet to turn 24 years old. He'll turn 24 in early October. But even if you say, well, this is his year 24 season, okay, fine. He's averaging nearly 1,000 yards as a pro. I mean, he obviously had the huge rookie year, but if you combined his 2 years, he's right at 1,989 yards and 12 touchdowns. Well, if you split that down the middle, you'd be talking about, is this the third year where BTJ really ascends and hits that 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns? It's been an interesting split because he was 1,282 yards and 10 touchdowns as a rookie, and then just 707 yards and 2 touchdowns last year. But you can see why there is the excitement. And again, he's just so young still that athleticism with the coaching he's getting and the fact that defenses can't put all their resources into stopping him, it's a pretty good bet that he's going to have a much more a season resembling the rookie year than last year.
And remember this. We say that I made this comment about Trevor a lot too. I'll make it about him. He's going into his third year in the league. This will be the first year he's ever had the same system and the same play caller and really the same quarterback back-to-back years. Mac Jones played a lot of those games his rookie year, So this is really the first year he's had same quarterback, same play caller, same system, same wide receivers around him. He hasn't had that back-to-back yet, so we'll see if that makes an impact. Good job on the interview, but I do get the sense that he's going to have a good year. I really do. We've got headlines after this, so stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
There are 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and Jags football.
To the 5, into the end zone, touchdown!
Jaguar football lives here. 1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership costs. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harold and Harold. After an accident, everything can feel chaotic and stressful. You're dealing with insurance calls, medical appointments, car repairs, and for most people, it's stressful and unfamiliar territory. That's where Harold and Harold comes in. Their team knows how overwhelming this time can be, and they guide you through every step of the process so you're never left wondering what comes next. If you've been injured and need someone in your corner, call Harold and Harold at 251-1111.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you, in this financial climate, or really any, it's never been more important to make your money work for you, which is why I'll recommend Mike McGuire and the Wealth Management Team at South State Bank. Financial planning is based on trust because it's so important. You can trust the South State team. They offer the best combination of sophisticated wealth management strategies with a truly personal approach. That will help you meet your financial goals. Stop by your local South State branch and ask them to connect you with Mike McGuire and the Wealth Management Team. You'll be glad you did. South State Bank, member FDIC.
It's about to get real. Training camp is on. Listen to 1010XL throughout the day for all the details and analysis of the passes, runs, and defensive performances. 1010XL's coverage of training camp is brought to you by Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to make sure your property is ready. Weak, damaged, or overgrown trees can become a serious hazard when storms move in. Trust the experts at Lucas Tree Service with over 45 years of experience for professional tree trimming, removal, and storm preparation. Don't wait until a storm is on its way. Schedule your tree assessment today at lucastreeservice.com.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. We've got Frank Frangie and JJ LaSelva. I am Hayes Carline. Thank you to our friends at Harrell and Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. They will take great care of you at Harrell and Harrell. Frank, we're going to start with the Jaguars, obviously. Day 1 of training camp in the books. Intense and I'd say precise, but execution a little sloppy in terms of the offense, drop passes, errant throws. But in terms of operationally, definitely a very crisp practice.
You described it perfectly when we started the show, and you just did it again. When you say a little sloppy, that can mean fumbled snaps, getting out of the huddle wrong, guys running the wrong routes, coaching having to blow a whistle because the guy blew an assignment. There's none of that. There was none of that. That part was all efficient. They just dropped some balls. They missed some throws. So, yeah, there's a pep in their step. We saw it in OTAs. You saw it in the mandatory. Now you see it now. So, I think that, again, I think they got a good team. There's some concerns. I told you all along. I hope running back is good. I hope they find their way there. Someone's got to earn the will linebacker job. They got to find a more exterior pass rush other than Josh and Trayvon. But every team's got concerns. Every team's got something. I think they've got a really good football team. I really believe that.
Great seeing Travis Hunter running around today. Played more defense than offense, but did play on both sides of the ball, and I thought looked really fast and looked good in coverage from what we saw. Almost made a dazzling catch on a ball from Trevor Lawrence. Liam Cohen, after practice, met with reporters and talked about having Travis Hunter back on the field.
It was good. I mean, obviously would have liked to see us complete that one to him on the sideline, but I was pleased to see him go up with no fear and just go up and try to make a great play. And Jabbar ended up making a really nice play at the end to finish it. But I thought he had a couple good reps on defense in one-on-one situations and press. And I think that we'll connect on that route and be able to get him some of those touches as we go in through. They build more of a connection and chemistry.
It really is. It really will be interesting to see where they land in terms of, is he a starting corner and a little bit of offense? Like last year, we thought he would be a starting wide receiver and a little bit of defense. Has the script really been flipped? Is it going to be more even than we expect? I'm not even sure they know yet. I think right now, let's get some reps on both sides of the ball, and then that'll play out organically. But yeah, boy, and again, I'll say it again, he looks good, doesn't he? Big, physical, really spent some time in the weight room. It's good to see Travis healthy and out there.
Absolutely. Trevor Lawrence also met with reporters after practice and talked about what the franchise quarterback is currently working on.
Honing in on stuff that works, but it's also a lot of, I wouldn't say experimenting, but working on things that we know we need to get better at to have a better offense, whether it's explosive plays down the field, some of the deep shots that we talked about in the spring, to just some of the run game stuff that might be plays that we've done in the past, but maybe we're doing more of because we think we're better at, those concepts. So there's a little bit of that going on, and then you're always trying to add little wrinkles here and there. So I'd say it's a mixture of all that.
Yeah, he looks like a veteran quarterback now, doesn't he? I mean, even at the podium, do you get that? He looks like he's gotten a little older. He looks like it's his team. And the truth is, it was his team the day he got off the plane, but now it really looks like it's his team.
Jaguars EVP Tony Baselli joined the drill this morning as the Jaguars were very welcoming. We had the drill and Jaguars today out there today, so that was great. But when Baselli joined the drill, he said something really interesting about Liam Cohen, talking about what a great job he does running a balanced offense.
I think it really goes to how Liam wants to call the game.
Yeah.
He wants to be balanced.
Yes.
I mean, that's his belief. I mean, for a quarterback, this is one of the things I loved him from day one. He believes, like, hey, we got to run the ball because that's going to help everything else. What will be, I don't think we know. I mean, we have ideas. You think about it. Sure. And you go into with a plan. We're going to get on the field, and we drafted 2 young tight ends that we're excited about. We signed Brenton Strange, who we think is one of the better tight ends in the game. And so we'll see how this thing works out, Dan. No doubt about it. The back half of that season when we started scoring points, it was with Trevor and our receivers getting it going. But we're not just trying to get to the playoffs. We're not just trying to show up.
Right.
So this is a long haul. And I think the biggest question, which I can't wait to see, is you talk about our receivers. We got Parker, we got BT, we got Jacoby, we got Brenton, we got signed the 2 young rookie tight ends. We got 2 6th-round draft picks who look great. We'll see. We've yet to play football. Just so everybody knows.
No,
I want to make sure everyone knows. We have yet to practice football, and we will not do that until.
Yeah, and so until they hit next week. The Liam, by the way, speaking of an offense, because Dan and Jeff asked him what the offense is going to look like, and Tony was right. You got to feel your way through that. Liam said something interesting, though. He's very transparent. He said, listen, what we are is we're either an 11 or a 12 team. What that means is we are either 1 back and 3 receivers, or 1 back and 2 tight ends and 1 back, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, or 1 back, 2 receivers, 2 tight ends. That's what we are. He said when we were in Tampa, did you hear him say that? He said we were 21 pony. What that means is 2 running backs, because we had 2 running backs we like playing together. I assume he's talking about Irving and White, but whoever he's talking about, he had 2 running backs we like playing together. He said, here we're a 1 running back team. He says, so we have to look, we know who we are, and let's see which of those play out the most. I thought he's a really transparent guy. And Tony talked about how confident they are in his play calling and his development of the offensive vision, and I agree with that.
Let's get to around the NFL. Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 of the best young running backs in the NFL appear to be holding in as neither player practiced in his respective camp today. Obviously, these are young players getting ready for their massive extensions in Atlanta and Detroit, respectively. But boy, that's something to monitor, particularly for you fantasy football players out there.
Well, and Gibbs, because they moved on from Montgomery, so he was the better back anyway. But he's now the franchise.
He's the guy.
He's the franchise. So, but everybody plays.
And
like
they're not
Pete
going to
Prisco
hold
says,
out.
they all go play.
But it does it would concern me from the standpoint of if it goes on for weeks, what tends to happen is these guys, when they finally practice something, they have a soft tissue thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a little surprising too, because if you're Atlanta and Detroit, you know you're paying them.
Right.
There's no chance you're not paying them.
But the NFL, they all play. The money's so high now.
Well, they can't hold out.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
they're under contract.
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, I mean it's but it's something to monitor certainly
Right.
when you're talking about the first two players probably off the board in the vast majority of fantasy drafts as we get closer to that as well. Tua out of Falcons practice with a back injury flare up.
Yeah.
The Falcons have added quarterback Cooper Rush. So Penix recovering from an injury. Tua, who's had a litany of them, now has a back. Boy, not what you want to see. And obviously not having Bijan out there either. Tough day for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, because there's nobody else there. There's some journeymen there, but that's why they had to go get Cooper Rush. Yeah, because Penix and Tua play so similarly, and because both have had modicums of success as NFL players, that went from looking like a really good quarterback room with a really good coach in Kevin Stefanski to now who knows. So it'll be interesting to follow for sure.
Let's take a peek at the Jaguar Week 1 opponent, the Cleveland Browns. Coach Todd Monken said today Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders will split first-team reps. Keep that battle going for weeks, please, because that's the best thing for the Jaguars in Week 1 is if whoever starts that game has missed basically half the first-team reps of training camp.
Yeah, I'm with what you said the other day. I think Deshaun Watson's going to be their quarterback to start the season. I don't necessarily think he's going to end the season, but I think the Jags play them Week 1. I would imagine he's going to be the guy.
49ers receiver Ricky Pearsall, the former Gator, out with knee soreness. And the team says there is concern here. It's the same knee that he injured last year. So, boy, the San Francisco 49ers, I mean, it's incredible. But
that and extension of the IU
good
stuff
when he's
too.
played. But it's been hard for him to be available.
And there's now a concern that thing's chronic. There's now a concern. Well, he's had a wild career, and he transfers to Florida. Looks like he's just a guy, becomes this really good player, goes in the first round, has the robbery thing when they robbed his watch, and he has
got
shot. Got shot in that. Then he has the injury. I think he's a good player. He's a first round draft pick. But it's been an odd start to his career. It's been an interesting career overall and a very odd start to his NFL career.
Yeah, bad news in New Orleans. The Saints lose promising defensive tackle Brian Bresee for the season to a torn ACL.
Yeah, good player, too. A very good player and gone for the year. I agree with you.
Let's get it to college football. The NCAA suspends Vols linebacker Arian Carter for the first two games of this season over a $427 plane ticket.
News bulletin. The entire Texas Tech roster are making $28 million apiece, yet the Tennessee guys suspended for $400. What are we doing? I mean, doesn't that? When I laughed when I saw the story.
Yeah.
Well, who gets suspended for $400 in today's college climate?
Like
quarterbacks are making $7 million paychecks.
If you're the NCAA, don't you have to say we can't do this?
What are we doing?
It'd be
$400.
like it'd be like arresting somebody for jaywalking.
Oh my goodness!
At this time, I mean, it's incredible. But that's the NCAA. Let's get it to Major League Baseball. The Mets beat the Braves 3-2 earlier today. Second game.
Come on,
it's
JJ. What are we doing?
Tonight.
Terrible, man.
What are we doing?
They are terrible. I mean, like, the Phillies are just worse. That's the only. The Phillies literally blew a 6-run lead, and we said this as a joke on Monday. They lost 12 in a row. The Marlins. They're gonna sweep the Phillies. That's exactly what happened. The Phillies blew like 2 6-run leads in this series. But yeah, the Braves suck, man. There's just nothing. I don't know if they're going to win the division, but if they do, it's only because the Phillies are terrible too.
It's a crazy sport, no question.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get you out with today's musical note. On this date, back in 1989, Tom Petty releases the single Running Down a Dream. This was the second single released from the album Full Moon Fever. with the Jaguars taking the season's first step today,
Great song.
I thought this song was fitting because we certainly around here are running down a dream.
This is a great song.
I love it.
This is a petty song that doesn't get enough. Doesn't get its due. You know that?
Yeah, it might be his most underrated song.
Well done. We do have Bucky Brooks coming up at 5:15. In the meantime, we'll come back in a bit. Get you ready for that and a whole lot more. It's hour 2 on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hey, folks, 0% financing is back at Nimnick Chevrolet, but don't expect it to last. This is one of Chevrolet's most popular offers. It doesn't come around very often, but right now, qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 60 months on select Chevy Silverado 1500 trucks and Chevy Equinox SUVs. Plus, of course, the largest selection of new Chevrolets in the region and always the best price guarantee. There's never a better time to buy at Nimnick. Now, don't wait for this offer to disappear. Look, you know the drill. I've been buying my cars from Nimnick forever. I'm proud of that fact. Been doing it since 1982, and I've always been treated right. I don't expect that to change. You will be treated the same way. Trust me on this. Visit NimnickChevy.com or stop by Nimnick Chevrolet today. Remember, the largest inventory, the best prices, 0% financing. Where do you get that? I can tell you. Nobody knows that better than I do. And I can tell you where to get it. Nobody but Nimnick.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
We're going to do a little number for you, but remember, we're a bit rusty, so bear with us. Just like the old days.
All right. Mornings.
Maestro.
On 1010XL.
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're like most of us at 1010XL, you have a list of things you want to get done before football season begins. Make an appointment today to check out Closets by Design's new showroom on Phillips Highway, especially the awesome man cave with a full bar. Closets by Design can customize the perfect entertainment space for you to gather for game days. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and free installation, or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Join Sporting News Jacksonville correspondent Pete Prisco for NFL news and notes. Of course. Thursday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Frank Frangie and Hayes Carline. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Guys, I got the perfect place to eat after work.
No way, Jose!
It's got the perfect tacos and margaritas.
No way, Jose!
Grab the crew, get your favorite drink, enjoy great Mexican food at the restaurant everybody's talking about.
No way, Jose!
San Jose and Bay Meadows.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Feel a vibration in your steering wheel at highway speeds? That's not something to ignore, and a standard tire balance might not fix it. At G&H Tires and Service, they offer road force balancing, an advanced system that simulates how your tire actually performs on the road to detect hidden issues. It goes beyond traditional balancing to reduce vibration, improve handling, and extend the life of your tires. Newer vehicles, especially with low-profile tires, demand this level of precision. Drive smoother. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard, where your ride gets dialed in right.
There's no better time than now to buy your football season parking pass from Tailgaters. Complete with on-site restaurant, indoor restrooms, and all-day security. Tailgaters parking selling out. Log on to tailgatorsparking.com today.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie for the farm at Okefenokee. My wife and I and a bunch of friends just got back from the farm, and we had an incredible experience. We toured the regenerative farm, as well as the beautiful handcrafted cabins, and were treated to a fantastic farm-to-table dinner created by Congreve and Penn. Man, was it good. Well, you can learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com. And even hear my interview with farm co-founder Doug Davis to learn even more about this amazing property. That's okefarm.com.
I'm Jared Justice with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by the JEA. Here's Jags quarterback Trevor Lawrence on Travis Hunter's first day of camp.
The chemistry's still there. Just got to keep working it more and more. Kind of missed the throw behind him a little today, but just good to see him back out there. And he looks good. He's flying around. See him play both sides is just, it's always pretty cool. So he looks great. So just excited he's back on the field.
It's 94 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
We sure appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons, the best in the business, Coyle & Sons Fence Company. Big thing of the day is brought to you by Big Chief Tire, 6 locations around town, and now offering the Extra Mile program, a simple way to say thanks to trusting them with your car. $10 off every oil change, free tire rotations, free tire repairs, free air pressure and vehicle inspections. They do it all. That's at Big Chief Tire. You can find them online at wekeepjacksrolling.com. For the second day in a row, we know the big thing is that the Jags are now officially on the field. They were officially on the field today. One quick thought before we go to Bucky Brooks in just a few minutes after the break. You talked to Brian Thomas Jr. today. We didn't have a whole lot of time to unpack that. I got to tell you, if he has the kind of season that he's going to have, Parker Washington really just looks the part. He walks around like he's going to be a star. I don't mean he's arrogant. I mean, he has a presence about him. Jacoby Myers is such an important possession guy. Hayes, I think the receiving core as a group, if Brian Thomas Jr. is the home run threat that we think he can be, becomes one of the best in the league, one of the top 5 in the league, if Brian Thomas Jr. can be the home run threat that he was 2 years ago.
Yeah, without a doubt, because with Myers and certainly with Myers, I mean, he's been doing this for several years. I mean, he's a new Jaguar, but in terms of playing the second half of last year, but he's got an established credibility from previous stops. Parker doesn't have that, but he's just been so good that it's hard to imagine, to your point, Parker Washington going through any sort of regression. So the X factor is Brian Thomas Jr. And but I think the probability is more that Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be more rookie season, and it may not be dazzling numbers, but when he's counted on, he's going to deliver. And I do think that yards per catch, 14.7 the last 2 years, tells you he's a playmaker, and that's going to continue. And so I would expect that number to go up, even if he doesn't get to the 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns like he did as a rookie. So I'm with you. If Brian Thomas Jr. has a big year, they're going to be really hard to stop.
All right, we're going to take a break because when we come back, Bucky Brooks joins us. He is our sideline reporter. He's with NFL Network. And, of course, as you know, he was at practice today. He's been here for a few days. He's flying back to L.A., but I'm going to get Bucky's thoughts on day 1 of camp. That's next, so stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Get more Jaguars coverage from Jacksonville's sports superstation.
Safety's got to guard. There's always a hole if you don't pressure the QB.
1010XL.
Jaguars fans, grab your passport. Open and fund a new Everbank Performance account for your chance to win the Everbank London Getaway Experience. One winner gets round-trip airfare for 2, 4 nights hotel, and 2 tickets to the Jags game in London this October. Start your journey today at everbank.com/London. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 6/29 to 8/27/26. Get official rules and details at everbank.com/London Rules. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A. Member FDIC.
In the game of vehicle performance and reliability, Atlantic Infinity is always the top pick. This is Hayes Carlyon. Did you know that every certified pre-owned Infinity is inspected, factory backed, with a limited warranty, and gets the same championship level service as a brand new Infinity? Every mile will feel like first class. Check out their full certified inventory now at AtlanticInfinity.com or visit Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
The Swamp is hot. Coaching, recruiting, winning and losing. Catch the Gator Buzz on the Gator Report. Several times a week on 1010XL. Built by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right. Keeping Gator Nation in the loop.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
What's up, guys? It's official. The Dude Perfect Squad Games Tour is coming to a city near you. 22 cities across the U.S.,
including yours. Sunday, August 2nd in Jacksonville, Florida at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena.
Brand new tour, brand new battle, bigger and better than ever.
Dude Perfect in Jacksonville on August 2nd.
Squad Games is officially coming into arenas.
Tickets and information at dudeperfect.com/tour.
The two best words in sports, Game 7.
I'm Alan Tyre with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Kim Rimley want to thank all of our clients, CPAs, attorneys, bankers, and real estate agents who refer us business every day. If you're ready to purchase, build, or refinance your home, call Trustline Mortgage, your hometown mortgage source since 1989. Call us today at 904-381-LOAN, TrustlineMortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Trustline Mortgage, NMLS, 331480. Alan Tyre, NMLS, 246490. Bill Pappas, NMLS, 218443. Ken Remley, NMLS, 246445.
Hacker here, and I'm going to be up in New England for the next couple of days, taking in a little family getaway before football season. And thanks to Awaken 180, that family getaway will include some water parks, some hide and seek, some water balloon battles, some silly string battles with my 7-year-old and other kids in the family up there in the New England area. 2 years ago, when I was over 300 pounds, I could not have dreamed of doing that, particularly in the hot summer months. But thanks to Awaken 180, the coaching I got, the guidance I got, the weight absolutely fell off. It's the real deal. Results speak for themselves. I lost over 100 pounds thanks to the best weight loss program I've ever been on. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800 and do what I did. Get your life back with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom, who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial Pound Law or check out forthepeople.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
The buck stops here. Time now for Bucky Brooks, brought to you by Coyle & Sons, Jacksonville's commercial fence specialist, on the Frangie Show.
All right, we thank our friends from Coyle & Sons. Welcome in my buddy Bucky Brooks, and I'm not bearing the lead here. I'm going to break the news right now. Bucky Brooks is taking up golf. That story is all over the world, all over the country. You told me you played like two. You went from not playing to 2 or 3 times a week. Is that the story that's on the street here? Is that correct?
Yeah, Frank, we're up to 3 or 4 times a week. We're trying to knock it out a little bit. We have some goals. By next spring, I want to be decent enough to be able to play around with you.
Okay, you know what? I'll be ready. We'll definitely be ready. So, Bucky was here watching the Jags practice and very involved in all that today. All right, from 10,000 feet, big picture. I'll get to some specifics in a minute, but it looks like a good team, Bucky. It was a very good team last year. Most of those guys are back. They seem efficient both in the OTA phase, in the mini camp, that whole kind of phase together. And I thought they looked efficient today. A little sloppy offensively. What did you think from 10,000 feet here?
Look, man, I think this is a very solid team. I think it's a well-constructed team. I think this team has a lot of potential. Now, the challenge is once you've shown people that you can be a pretty good team, how do you handle when they put you on a tougher schedule and the expectations are a little higher? We will get a chance to see how good Liam is in terms of getting this team to be the consistent contender that they've talked about. When I look at this team specifically, look, everything is going to be on Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has a very dynamic wide receiver core around him. He has a strong offensive line in front of him, and he has a defense that is proven to take the ball away. All those things suggest, like we've seen on ESPN and others, that, look, Trevor's going to have an opportunity to be an MVP candidate. But it's about how does number 16 level up? If he takes his game up a notch, I think we're going to be really excited about the things that take place in Jackson.
Where do you think that's headed? For people that follow this, Trevor Lawrence had a good, very good year and a great second half of the year. Liam told me in the spring that they kind of figured it out, let him throw the ball down the field more. They want him to run more. They want him to play free and easy, kind of backyard football. He didn't use that phrase, but that's what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we see this year? And what are your expectations for Trevor this year, Bucky?
Well, the one thing that I came away with at the end of the year is the most confident and decisive that I've seen Trevor Lawrence play.
Okay.
He was undeterred by mistakes. He played with a lot of confidence where he let the ball go well before wide receivers got out there to break. And so that tells me that he really understands the system, and he's looking to unlock the next part of what this offense can be. And watching what all of us saw in the course of the offseason, Brian Thomas Jr., him being on the same page, Parker Washington continue to grow, Bretton Strange being a big part of it, Jacoby Myers being a possession receiver, and then Travis Hunter kind of being the difference maker potentially if he can jump in there as the third or fourth wide receiver. I like all the things that are there, but I'm going to say this, and we've talked about it. The running game needs to be enough of a factor that he can comfortably throw against single high looks because they are at least threatened by the run. It doesn't have to be a dominant running game, but it has to be enough where he doesn't go against too high safety all the time.
Decisive is a great word for him. He was way more decisive. You're exactly right about it. All right, let's get to the running back position. I've said on this show for 2 or 3 weeks now or months now that that's the one spot that concerns me a little bit on offense, not because of – I think what it can be is special, Bucky, but there's not a lot of guys that have done it. There's not a lot of guys that have been RB1 in their lives. What's the key to the running – what are your expectations from the running back room, and what's kind of the key for that group?
You know, this is different because a lot of times we judge the running back room and the running game based on the talent of the running back. I think this may be inverse. I think this may be flipped where if the offensive line is solid, it doesn't really matter who's back there running, whether it's Chris Rodriguez, whether it's Bashar Tootin, whether it's LaQuint Allen. Those guys would be fine if they were able to dominate at the point of attack. If anything, we're going to spend a lot of time in the preseason dissecting the running backs. I would say the running game really will be determined by the offensive line. If we're good up front, it doesn't matter who toes it. We'll be successful and productive, but the special part will be determined by the ball carrier. If Bashar Tootin is able to put together the vision with the speed that he's shown, well, then he's going to have an opportunity to be a terrific running back. Same thing with Chris Rodriguez, who is really good running through contact. Those two guys I would expect to carry the load, but really the offensive line has to pave the way. If they can blow holes at the line of scrimmage, then those guys are going to run free, and we're going to be really excited about the running game.
That's a great point. And they didn't run the ball well at the end of the year last year. They were very clear about that. We did the games. We saw that. Of all the good things they did, they didn't run it, particularly between the tackles, the way they would have liked to. Bucky, they bring back the same line. Now, I think it's a line that'll play better. They'll now have been together for 2 years. I mean, Robert Hainsey just got here. Patrick McCary just got here. They hadn't played with Ezra Cleveland before, so that middle of the line now is together for a second year. Will they be better? Will they run block better in your opinion?
Yeah, I would just say this: looking at the practice tape, like they're definitely connected. There's more chemistry and feel. Also, I think Liam has a better understanding of what he has in front. So tailoring the schemes and the tactics to the talent is everything. And I think you'll see more outside zones, more things to the edges that will allow not only the offensive line to be able to use the athleticism, but for the running backs to be able to press it to the front side and look for cutbacks. I just think there's a better marriage and synergy between the play caller, the protectors up front, and then eventually the playmakers that we have, not only in the running game, but also in the passing.
Yeah, great point. Bucky Brooks with us talking Jaguars. Let's flip to this defensive side of the ball. You and I had this talk for a long time today. I'll ask you now on air. Do they have enough good linebackers? Obviously, Foye Oluokun is a star. He's a tackling machine. He's on the field all the time, though. Is there enough to go with him at the linebacker spot, in your opinion?
So here's the thing about the linebackers. Foyer Lewis-Con is absolutely right. You're talking about a tackling machine. He's going to make a bunch of big plays in terms of being able to defend the run and make plays in the passing game. But what you're missing is, look, Devin Lloyd made a lot of splash plays in the passing game. Who steps up to fill that position? Is it Ventrell Miller? Is it Branson Coons? One of those guys has to step up and be a playmaker. And then on the other side, you have Dennis Gardeck, who plays the Sam linebacker, but would also kick down, put his hand in the dirt in nickel situations, which could mean a role for Trayvon Walker going inside when they go to that NASCAR speed package with all their best defensive linemen. But look, linebacker is a concern because there were a lot of splash plays that were made by Devin Lloyd. And we can say whatever his issues might have been, run or pass, you're missing those splash plays. So who's going to step up? My thought is Ventrell Miller's going to get first crack at it, but keep an eye on Branson Coon because they're excited about what he showed on special teams and the athleticism that he brings to the position.
The book on both guys, and we know this by now if you follow the team, Ventrell's probably the most explosive player they've got. He'll blow you up. He's a great run defender. He's physical. He's charismatic. Other guys play more physical when he's around. Branson Combs probably runs a little better athlete, plays in space a little better. Is it both guys maybe, Bucky? Is it Ventrell Miller in run situations and Branson Combs in nickel? I mean, is it that simple or no?
Yeah, I think it's that simple, really, man. I think both those guys are going to split the position. I think what you'll see is the first part of the season, you see those guys both get equal playing time. And then eventually the best player, the best fit for how they eventually figure out they have to play, will get it. But look for Ventrell Miller to be the guy that you're counting on early downs, rundown situation, to be that heavy thump. And then look at Branson Coons to be the sideline rangy playmaker. I'm telling you, there's a lot of excitement about Coons, but he has to prove that he can make the right reads on early downs to be out there each and every down. We'll see how much the young guy can progress over the course of the preseason.
What about the secondary? How good will Buster Brown be? They paid him, and the conventional thinking is that Travis Hunter starts on the other side, and obviously if Jordan Lewis is healthy, then Jarian becomes a really good fourth corner. Is that how that plays out? How good will that group be, and how will they play differently compared to how they did last year, in your opinion?
I think that group would be really good. When I look at Travis Hunter playing on the outside, I think it's a natural fit. He's more of a playmaker at defensive back than I thought he would be at wide receiver. I think we get a chance to see that play out. Jordan Lewis and Jarian Jones sharing the nickel role. Keep an eye on that. And then on the other side, I think Buster Brown is going to be terrific. I think this system fits what they want to do. You can see more match coverage, meaning a little matchup man-to-man in theory, but really zone eyes on the quarterback. This is a team that got their hands on the ball a ton last year. I expect them to continue to be able to do that.
Yeah, they were, for people that follow it or even don't as closely, press man teams like to blitz a lot. Their corners are fast and they turn and run with receivers. And that's really not what this team was last year. They played a lot of zone. Everybody kind of had their eye on the quarterback to a point. Is that what we're going to see again? Does that change at all, or is that kind of who Anthony Campanile is and that's the personnel he has?
Look, I think with the personnel that they have, I think they still want to have the zone principles, right? Because in zone, you have your eyes on the quarterback. You're more likely to get turnovers on tips and overthrows, but you want to be able to tighten the coverage. So there's a way to play these zone concepts with pattern match principles. I think that's what you're going to see on the outside because the athletes that they have on the outside are better doing some of these matchup things. And so that's definitely going to work for them. And I think the turnovers will still come, but for as much as we're going to talk about the secondary, it's a lot of the pressure is going to be dependent on 44 and 41 to change the rhythm and the cadence of the quarterback in terms of the timing. If they're able to generate a pass rush, it doesn't mean sacks, but pressures, then you'll see that tight coverage lead to more turnovers.
Bucky, what's your biggest concern with this football team? If you're Liam Cohen and James Gladstone and Tony Baselli, you know you got a good team. Everybody knows they've got a good team. What's the one or two biggest concerns for you?
So we hit on it. We talked about running back and we talked about linebacker. Those are two biggest personnel concerns.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you the biggest concern really is the mentality. When you are a good team, you walk into the stadium, know that you can win, knowing that you should win.
Yeah.
How did the Jaguars handle being a good team last year, going into stadiums this year, knowing that now they may be a bit of the measuring stick? They're no longer going to be the team that people kind of sleep on walking into it. There's a different feel when you are the hunted as opposed to the hunter. How did the Jaguars take on that personality of being, I mean, we're a good team. We know we're going to get everyone's best shot, but we're okay with that. I think the mentality is everything. Liam always talks about finding the edge.
Yeah.
Well, what's the edge that you can create when you walk into the stadium feeling like you have a championship team? To me, that's the biggest thing, the mentality going into this season. How do we feel when we've been a good team?
That's a great point. Does this team feel – it feels like to me, and I'm always the positive glasses half full guy, I admit that, but it seems like to me the culture is built in such a way that they can handle any of the changing psychologies. Because you're right, it's a different psychology this year. They're looked at as one of the better teams. So is that a leadership thing? Is it on Foye and Josh and some of the older guys? Is it too simple to say it like that? I mean, what mandates in your mind that they handle these higher expectations? Because there's clearly lofty expectations for this team.
Look, I think it starts with the way that Liam has treated the team from the beginning of the OTAs to the way that they handle training camp. Can you make it tougher and rougher on them to prepare for? We talked about the storm. Yeah. There's going to be a storm that happens in every season. And what is going to be like if the Jaguars drop 2 or 3 in a row? Do they have the wherewithal to pick themselves up off the mat to deal with that? How do they handle not only the adversity, but how do they handle success? It's just a team that can gear up and play at a high level week after week after week. When we talk about those teams, those perennial contenders, they understand how to do it. They understand how to get to those magic numbers of 12 and 13 each year. Can the Jaguars exhibit enough emotional control and maturity to be a team that we can pencil in for winning 12 to 13 games each and every year?
All right, final thing here. If you were doing a Bucky Brooks power poll for NFL Network, NFL Media, if you're doing a power poll, where are they? Are they a top 10, top 5, top 15? If you did one right now, and we're biased, and you're allowed to be biased, but where would you put them? I mean, how good are they?
Look, I think they're really good. I think they got a chance. I think right now, like just conservatively speaking, look, they're in the top 8.
Okay.
But I think they're one of those top 8 teams that can be much better when we get to it. I think naturally when you talk about the Rams, the Seahawks, you talk about the Broncos, returning those people, there's going to be some conversation. But look, man, I don't think the Jags are that far off. I know people are talking about the Buffalo Bills and the expectations there, but if you ask me, I think the Jaguars should be in the mix. And when everyone talks about the division rival, the Houston Texans, to me, this is a fascinating race to watch because the Texans are good, but so are the Jaguars. That is going to be fascinating. But look, I think we're top 8 conservatively. I really expect us to be a top 5 team when we get to it, though.
Bucky Brooks talking Jaguar football. It's going to be an exciting season. You'll hear Bucky on the sidelines with us all year long. Bucky, safe travels, man. We'll talk soon. Take care, buddy.
I appreciate you, Frank.
All right, Bucky Brooks talking Jaguars football with us, and he's right. I don't think it's over the top to think this is right now a top 8 team. I think when the power polls come out, they'll be 12th, 11th, 9th, 13th. I think that's where if you look at if there's 5 or 6 power polls out there, their average spot will be 11 or 12. But I think they're a better football team than that. They certainly have a chance to be. We'll see. Great work from Bucky Brooks as always. Haysbee joins us after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
We love winning, and 1010XL wants you to win our contests. We also like to share the winning. That's why we ask you to wait 30 days to win again so others get a chance to have the winning feeling. Find complete contest details at 1010XL.com.
Everybody loves what's happening at Beard's Diamonds this month. Up to 40% off store-wide at their annual Christmas and July sale. But you need to hurry. The event ends at the end of the month. Hurry in to see all the amazing deals, up to 40% off, and that includes engagement rings, fashion rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants. This is the annual store-wide sale that everybody loves because you get December prices like Christmas. If you're getting engaged this summer, now's your chance to get a bigger, better quality diamond. Or maybe it's time to treat yourself to a fabulous fashion ring, necklace, or bracelet. Don't forget, Beards is the town center's locally owned diamond superstore. Say hi to the Lupos when you go in. Don't settle for the corporate chain store experience when you can get the value, service, and attention you deserve. Don't miss Christmas in July exclusively at Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center. I say shop local, shop Beards Diamonds. Hurry, though, the offer ends at the end of July and will not be extended. Beards Diamonds.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Hey, it's Matt Lennon with AB Signs. Every day, I talk to local business owners who spend thousands finding customers, yet their company vehicle sits blank. Let me turn it into a moving billboard with custom graphics and signs from AB Signs.
Looking for ways to save on your JEA bill? We're on it. When it comes to your utilities, the less you use, the more you can save. That's why JEA offers ways to help you manage your usage and avoid higher than expected bills. Use our online tools to monitor your usage throughout the month. Schedule a free irrigation or energy efficiency assessment and get personalized tips to save. And with JEA rebates, you can save when upgrading to more efficient equipment. Find more ways to save at JEA.com.
Surely, you've heard of John Osher.
That's obvious.
Find out what he's heard about your favorite football team.
Is there anything else we need to know?
Listen for Jacksonville's senior writer weekdays on 1010XL. Served up by Twin Peaks.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
The World Poker Tour is coming back to Best Bet Jacksonville from August 20th to September 9th.
From the ladies and the seniors 50-plus events to mystery bounties, Best Bet live feature tables, and over $1.5 million in guarantees. The WPT Best Bet Scramble is going to be full of poker action and excitement.
Mark your calendars and get ready for the World Poker Tour at Best Bet Jacksonville. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, I'm Blake Bortles. People know I've always said if I wasn't playing football, I'd probably be on a construction site. So Next Gen Roofing finally let me live the dream.
Blake, why are you wearing a red practice jersey?
Always worn it for safety.
Right. Well, around here, the red jersey means you're the new guy, so you're in charge of garbage cleanup.
Perfect. I love garbage time. Always excelled in it.
It's not exactly what I meant.
Good thing Next Gen Roofing has real pros handling everything from family homes to large commercial buildings. Next Gen, teamed up with you.
Teamed up with you. Open early and open late. Dailies is always there, making things easy for you to cruise in and cruise out. So hit Dailies Cold Case the next time you're craving a cold one. Bud Light by the case, plus plenty of singles to choose from. Corona to the king of beers to Stella or a Natty. They're all cold at Dailies.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, our golden moment today, there's a lot of them, but I'm going to say we just had it. Bucky Brooks coming on a moment ago. He really knows this team. He's around the team a lot. They trust him. The football people know he's a really sharp dude, so he knows that team as well as anybody and does a great job talking Jaguar football. So we appreciate Bucky coming on. That is our golden moment of the day today. Camp 1 is in the books. Obviously, it was all Jaguars today, other than Brett Hastings coming. There's other things going on in the world of sports, but that is where we were today. I did see one interesting college story. Not one interesting, but it's happening. Are you noticing that more and more schools are now trying to sue the players that leave? Have you noticed that?
I did see Ole Miss is suing a couple of the LSU kids.
They said they're suing Prince Well, the younger brother, Umanmi Ellen, for $550,000. He's a linebacker, and offensive lineman Devin Harper for $400,000. Earlier, Georgia tried to sue Damon Wilson, a defensive lineman who went to Missouri, for about $300,000. Duke tried to sue Mensa. Where did that happen? Whatever happened there, JJ? Did anything happen with that?
Oh, yeah. Miami had to pay him like $6 million.
So Miami did have to pay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Miami had to pay
Duke.
I did not. How did I miss that story? But it makes sense, though. It makes sense.
They went to court. It was a whole thing.
So Miami had to pay Duke $6 million to in addition to paying whatever they're paying Mensa.
Yeah. So I've heard it's up to like 6+ for him even.
Yeah.
So it was like a $12 to $13 million thing.
And the other thing that I saw, Matt Campbell left Iowa State to go to Penn State. Did you see how many Iowa State players have gone to Penn State?
No.
Have you seen this? Have you seen this?
No, but I've seen the amount of Penn State players that ended up going to Virginia Tech and recruits.
And again, this goes back to Signetti taking all the James Madison kids to Indiana that he liked.
Matt Campbell has 24 players.
Yeah.
20.
I actually thought it was going to be higher.
You
the
did?
way you kind of
Really?
yeah, because
Oh, that
that's
blew
the
me
number
away.
that
Is that
like Signetti took.
Oh, it
and-
is? Okay, then I missed the memo.
And I would imagine, I think JJ's right. I would
Is that-
imagine that,
then I'm-
Franklin took a couple of dozen
I
to
would-
Virginia Tech.
then that's
But
still
that-
so many.
Well,
but
shame
that
on me.
is
Then
a
I missed-
Starters on both sides of the ball.
Then I
with
missed,
three left.
then I
that
missed
is
the
a
memo
ton.
on that. I was thinking I was thinking a high number would be 8 to 10.
Okay.
And so you knew it. I did. It shocked
That
me.
is a lot of players.
24 players from Iowa State are now at Penn State, and it's the same thing with. I didn't know
If
that.
you're a Penn State fan, do you love that?
Well,
I mean, you want the coach because he's a great coach, but do you want 24 kids
Well-
from Iowa State?
Well, here's the thing. It's a great question, but here's the point. Only one thing matters is win the game. And so Matt Campbell, by the way, Matt Campbell's an interesting story because he was the hot.
Could have had better jobs.
He was the hot coach every year, and whether he either didn't take him or didn't wind up getting the offer, he was always the guy. Every time a prominent blue blood or a prominent Power 4 job came open, Matt Campbell, was he ever not on the list? He was on every list. I bet he was on Florida's list. I bet he was on Auburn's list. He was on every list.
He was on Florida's list when they hired McElwain.
Well, I think he was on it when they hired Napier. I think, and joking aside, I think he was on the list when they hired Napier. I think I remember that.
I've always heard from podcasts and stuff like Josh Pate's really close to him personally, and he's
Okay.
always said that he's had plenty of big opportunities before Penn State, but he is one of those guys that's like a big fan. It was important for him and his family to stay in one place and build something, and he liked where he was at. So I don't know what made it finally change.
Yeah, and
but things were getting kind of stale there at Iowa State.
Yeah, and I believe that, JJ. I believe he could. You can't be on that many lists and never get the job unless you don't want the job. So, but even this job, it took forever. Remember, I mean, Penn State. Who did they with? Who they?
They went after Rule.
Remember
Matt
Rule. That's who it
Rule.
was. Rule's the one they were associated with the most. And then but it was even late in the process. So I guess he's good. We'll find out. It's big boy football now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
With all due respect to Iowa State. Okay. And with all due respect to that big Iowa State Baylor showdown, it ain't like Penn State Ohio State, bro. Okay. He's in the big leagues now.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of, and this has probably lost a little bit of its importance, but in terms of Campbell taking 24 guys, you set a standard. Like, these guys know what I expect.
Correct.
If I have one of my guys in every room, and obviously some are going to be multiples in every room, then we immediately acclimate to what I'm expecting of our players that have never worked with us before. So maybe there's something to that. But again, in this day and age of college football, you're probably changing over 50% of your roster again next year. So how much of setting a standard, that's going to be really challenging for coaches, is having a standard that year in and year out, you don't have to reinvent the wheel because of roster turnover. And again, that's why, Kirby Smart is really set up, I think, well at Georgia, is he uses the portal, but it's not like, hey, I have to go get 40 new guys. So he can maintain that standard of excellence that players have been able to work under for many years. So that's the only thing I can think of is year one, you want to have, some guys in your corner, but that is a very high number. But again, look at Kirk Signetti, took a bunch of guys from James Madison and ended up winning the national title at Indiana in year 2. It's still the most staggering athletic accomplishment I've ever seen a coach achieve.
Yeah,
I mean, what he did is
right.
I mean, it really is a miracle.
Yeah, and let's be honest, that one is the outlier of all outliers. That won't happen very often, So, but we'll see. One to keep an eye on if you follow all of college football, not just regional like we tend to do. Keep an eye on Pat Fitzgerald at Michigan State. He's a really good coach. He made Northwestern way better than Northwestern ever deserved to be. Then he got caught up in the hazing stuff. Remember that? And he got fired because of the hazing, and he didn't. They said he didn't have good enough control of that. He's now that's the guy that passed up. Remember that? He passed up a bunch of jobs when he was the Northwestern coach, only to get fired under the hazing thing. And look, Michigan State's been a disaster ever since. It's not been a disaster since Saban left. Mark D'Antonio had some good years. He won 3 titles there. Mel Tucker was awful. This guy's pretty good. I would keep. I'll bet you Michigan State maybe not this year, but I bet they found something in Pat Fitzgerald.
Well, the other thing too with him and with Michigan State, like they've got to have a similar alumni base to Indiana and to Ohio State and to Michigan. And look, now it's rallying. If you've got 800,000 living alumni, and I know that's roughly the number that like IU has,
But I hear you.
but it's like it doesn't really matter now. Like it doesn't matter how good you were as a football program 5 years ago. It certainly doesn't
Or
matter
last
how
year.
good
Yeah,
you were
right.
30 years
And
ago.
Indiana's
all it
the
matters
proof of that.
is writing the checks.
Right.
So if you're Michigan State and you can unlock, they've got to have the just access to unbelievable money from their alumni. So again, any school,
With the right
Indiana
coach-
is the prime example.
Right, with the right
if
coach.
Indiana can go undefeated and
Right.
win the national title, these big schools in the Big Ten, SEC, they've got the money. They've got
Yeah.
access to it, and
You have to have the right coach.
You have to have the right coach. But I would agree with you
Yeah.
that Michigan State has the right
Yeah,
coach.
I think so,
If they've
too.
got 6-win talent, he's going to win 8.
Yeah, correct. And the money allows you to have 9 or 10 win talent instead of 6 win talent. It's still we're going to go to break here. If you still step back and think about it, Indiana won the national championship in college football and along the way beat Alabama 38-3. Just digest that for a second.
They won 16 games, right?
I know. I mean, 16 games and beat Alabama 38-3. I mean, in the history of college football, even when they're down, I mean, even when in freaking Gene Stallings and one of the Mikes were there and Francione, no one was beating them 38-3. I mean, the bad Alabama team Mike Shula didn't get beat 38-3 as the Alabama coach, right? I mean, isn't it amazing? It was an amazing season. It really was. So let's take a break. We'll wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
PGA Tour, Thursday is round 1 of the Rocket Classic, which takes place at Detroit Golf Club. The field includes Jackson Coyvin, the 21-year-old coming off his first PGA Tour victory last week in Minnesota. Cameron Young is the betting favorite to win the tournament this week at plus 100. Chris Gotterup plus 1,500. Xander Schauffele plus 1,600. Wyndham Clark is a plus 2,000, and Coyvin is also plus 2,000 to win this week in Detroit. NFL training camps underway for all 32 teams in the league. The Rams the betting favorite to win Super Bowl 61 at plus 550. Buffalo at plus 1,000. Seattle plus 1,200 to defend their title.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010 XL.
Celebrate the month of July with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129 and take $75 off air duct cleaning as well. Hick it here. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Take advantage of the savings.
Rock the Country, a festival for the people. Coming to the Florida Horse Park in Ocala, Florida, August 28th and 29th, 2026, with Brooks and Dunn and Blake Shelton, John Party, plus Lauren Alina, Shenandoah, Mark Chestnut, and many more. Get your tickets now at rockthecountry.com.
This is Hayes Carlyon for Harrell & Harrell. You've heard me talk about Harrell & Harrell for years. Holt Harrell is a friend of mine. We went to school together and have known each other for decades. That's why I care about people choosing the right attorney after an accident. Who you choose first really matters. I've heard from Holt how confusing the insurance process can be and how long it can take to get the right medical care. I've also seen firsthand with friends and family who were in accidents. Once Holt and his team stepped in, the insurance call stopped. Call Harrell & Harrell at 251-1111.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here. Don't wait for the first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems when high winds come around. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to backyards. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
You know, these theaters, they're too restrictive of their patrons, don't you think?
Yes.
Why would this bother anybody? Would you share that story? For me?
I don't know if this is even true, but it's
share it
hilarious
anyway.
because
Share
I'm
it.
seeing it
Yeah.
on social media.
Share it
Man
first.
kicked out of IMAX theater after bringing a fully functioning crock pot of chili and selling bowls in the back row.
Fan cam, chill out, bro.
I saw fan cam today.
Fan cam.
I
That
think
was
it's
awesome.
31st year.
Yeah.
Doing his chili.
Today. Well, I can't imagine they get mad about that. I mean, I'm just going to show. I'm going to set up my own concession stand.
So great.
That is awesome. I'm just going to show up and set up my concession stand.
Watching the Odyssey with a bowl of chili.
That's awesome.
I heard it's very long.
It is. It's like 2 hours and 50 minutes. It's good. I liked it.
You did?
We
I've
had
heard
a good time.
I've heard mixed. You liked it?
We
though?
liked it. Yeah, I saw it with Avery and Jackson.
Yeah,
and
they liked it.
And they liked it. I liked it. So there you go.
It's all the rage. I say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
One day's in the books.
How about it?
What'd you think? What stood out?
Well, we had a lot of C&E media there today. It was good to see them. Christmas and Easter media. We'll see them again on opening day. And they took it upon themselves to ask quite a few questions.
There was some of that.
Yeah. And you talk about glory cut, guys. My goodness, man. That was hilarious. Anyway, outside of that, I thought defense won the day. That was big in Boston, being Catholicism and, it was such a big business up east, even though we all know what was going on with the priest behind the scenes. It was unbelievable. How much did you give to the church today? And, C&E was a big deal. You had people would show up twice a year. That's some of the local media here in Jacksonville, the C&E media.
I will say, Father Larkin, when I grew up in a Catholic church, Father Larkin, our priest, and every Easter, he would say, I hope you guys, he would end by, and by the way, Merry Christmas to all of you that I won't see again until next Easter. He would do that every time.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Merry Christmas.
There isn't. If you can get,
so it was great. So.
It is. But I thought defense won the day.
Yeah, I did too. And I, which you would kind of expect. Hayes made a good point. Yeah, the offense dropped a few balls and missed a few throws, but they certainly looked like they were on point operationally. There wasn't anybody running the wrong route. There wasn't any bad snaps. So I was impressed with what.
Well, that's different. Yeah, you can tell. I mean, the scheme has been set, and they know where they're supposed to be, and they're doing the right stuff. I thought they were a little bit sloppy today, offensively, but yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean, there's been times, and it may be as early as tomorrow when I come in here and say, man, this team looked absolutely unbelievable, and everything they did was spectacular. I thought it was pretty average offensively outside of Tootin. I thought he looked really good. And I thought defense, again, had the better practice. So we'll look at that. A future defender is Albert Regis. Guy who's a little bit undersized. They say he's got short arms and really can't penetrate as far as a pass rush, but he's like a tree stump when it comes to the run. And, does he have a chance to get involved in this rotation? So caught up with him amongst everything else. John Osher will join us as well.
He looked the part, too. He's thick. He is thick. Sorry,
and what a good kid he is.
Was he?
I wonder where that story.
I haven't met him yet.
There's a story that he and his wife, they have a 1-year-old.
Okay.
And right before the draft, they line up a bunch of NFL Cups, and the 1-year-old crawled up to the Jaguars Cup and picked it. And then, sure enough, a few hours later, the Jaguars picked it.
It's a great story. So we'll be listening. Thank you, Rick. Rick Beluga's into the night talking Jaguars and more coming up right now. Tomorrow, by the way, now the football season's here. We're 2 to 4. So our 2 to 4 shift every Thursday starts tomorrow. Lee Smith will be here. Pete Prisco will be here. So 2 to 4 on the program tomorrow and every Thursday until after the Super Bowl parade. I can tell you that much. We're out here. Rick Beluga's next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.